4.2, generate tables from equations. So learning target is I can find the values in a table from an equation. And my guiding question, I want you to think about what are the patterns that you notice and where do you think these patterns are coming from? Okay, so the example, let's do number 1. So you're given an equation right here, and you're given a table. So remember, this is a relationship between x and y. So you have x on one side and your y on one side. So you know your x, you don't know where your y is. You got to find those y. So I want you to understand and I want to stress the importance of this relationship. So what it's saying is for everything you put into x, you're going to get this y. Okay? So for example, the first one says x is equal to 0. So to find out what this y is, you got to put 0 into your equation. So for this one, y is equal to 2, and then instead of the x, I'm going to put a 0 in there. Plus 3. And you know that 2 times 0 is 0 plus 3. That's going to give you 3. So that means y is equal to 3. Because 2 times 0 is 0, and then add 3 to it, it's positive 3. Okay, let's look at the next one. For 1. So y is equal to 2. So instead of the x, I'm going to put a 1 in here. 2 times 1 plus 3. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 3, that's going to give you 5. So then right here is 5. Okay. Do another one, 2. So y is equal to 2 times 2 plus 3. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3, that's 7. 7. So did you notice a pattern? Hopefully you pick up that every time you go up, every time x goes up by 1, y goes up by 2. So you can guess this one is going to be 9 and this one's going to be 11. So you see that the pattern is as x goes up by 1, y goes up by 2. So where did that come from? Right here. Okay, that shows you that the steps for y is going to go up by 2 every single time. This 3 tells you where to start. So that 3 is the same as that one. It shows you that at the beginning, when x equals 0, you started at 3. And every time x goes up by 1, y goes up by 2. Okay, let's do another one, number 2. So here, this one is the opposite. So for number 1, I give you the x values, and you need to find the y. Here, I give you the y's, and you need to find the x. So again, this is a relationship. So now we're going to plug these y values into where y goes. I'm going to substitute it in. So for y equals 1, I'm going to write 1 is equal to x minus 6. And now I'm going to solve for this x. So I'm going to plus 6 to both sides. So let's draw our line. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And I get 7 is equal to x. So that means when x is 7, you get y is 1. And it makes sense. If you go up here to check it, let's say I put a 7 there. You see that 7 minus 6 is equal to 1, which right here checks out. Okay. And then now let's do another one. Let's do when y is equal to 2. So I get 2 is equal to x minus 6. So again, I'm going to plus 6 to both sides. So I'm going to get 8 is equal to x. So when 8 is x, y is 2. Again, if you're to check, you put an 8 up here. and you put a 2 there because y is 2, x is 8. 8 minus 6 is equal to 2. That means you know that you did it correctly. So what can we guess for the next one? It seems like it's going by a pattern. We can guess that this is 9. And let's check. When you put 9 in here, 9 minus 6 is 3. Yep. Then we can continue. Okay. So pretty straightforward. Just plugging the numbers in and seeing what you get. So for the rest of these, pretty straightforward. The only difference is number 7, 8, and 9. There's no values to give you. So you can just choose any values you want. Easiest one. The ones I like to really use is, I like to go with -2, -1, 1, 0, 1, 2. You can go those ones. Or if you don't like negatives, just go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Should always have a 0 in there. 0. I'm gonna request that you always have a 0 somewhere, because it tells you a lot about your graph. So let's check this first one. And you must find your x before you can find your y. Okay, unless it's given to you. Okay, so here plug 0 in there. So I get y is equal to 4 times 0 minus 3. And you see 4 times 0 is 0 minus 3. That's going to give you a -3. Okay, let's check the next one. Y is equal to 4 times 1 minus 3. You see that 4 minus 4 times 3. 4 times 1 is 4 minus 3. That's going to give you a 1. So you're starting to see a pattern. Let's do one more. Y is equal to 4 times 2 minus 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. So you're starting to see that pattern. It goes up by 4. So you can guess this one is going to be 9. And this one is 13. Okay, so you can finish the rest. Number 9 is a little tricky. But I believe you can do it too. Okay, we could do. We can start with 1. So again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is a little bit different in that x and y are the same sides. You can keep they're in the same side if you want. You could change them around. Let's just keep them in the same here. So x is 0 minus y is equal to 4. So what I'm going to do is, this 0, it's already 0. We don't need to do anything to it. I need y to become positive, so I'm going to divide by -1. So I get y is equal to -4. So you can take those same steps and run through this one and see what you get.